This MFL Marmac Coach Conversation brought to you by Havlicek Trucking, Meyer Auto Service, and Birdnow Chevrolet. We're with MFL head wrestling coach Chet Bachman as they get ready for the state tournament this week. Coach, five guys still going to Des Moines. Has to feel good to be that busy once you hit the mat on Thursday night.
Yeah, definitely. It feels good. It was a good day to be a Bulldog, that's for sure.
What do you credit your team's success for this year?
Oh, I just think that, we had a little bit of veteran and we had a good year last year. And I think we're peaking at the right time, Darren. I think that, we've kind of been through a lot of adversity throughout the year. And, like I said earlier, we probably weren't, able to put our lineup until here late. So, we put all those pieces together and we just seem to be peaking at the right time.
And I know last week you got to participate in the regional team duels, went over and took on Central Springs over at Nashua. When you have the regional team duel aspect of getting ready for the districts in that week, how do you balance everything out, making sure the guys are as ready as they can be on Saturday at the same time, trying to give your team an opportunity for everybody to get to Des Moines?
Yeah, that is a challenge. I think last year when we come off a real high, and then you go through that during the week. I think we kind of got bit at districts a little bit last year because of that. So I think we learned from that. Even though we didn't win this year, we still had to travel a ways, and took a loss early. So we were able to leave right away and then get back at a good time, because about this stage, it's, a lot of it's about sleep and nutrition and, rest, and your body resting and not trying to do maybe too much. So I think going through that last year and just jumping right back into Wednesday and just, focusing right back on our individuals, I think we got right back on the saddle, and, it showed on Saturday.
And let's break down your guys one by one as you get ready for Des Moines. Bryce Radloff qualifying at 138. What's made it a successful year for him?
He's pretty smooth on his feet. He's got some talent. And then, he's had to overcome some injuries as well. And he's a good kid. He's a good listener. So he's, got all the intangibles. He's got people behind him that want to see him succeed and believe in him. And I think that helped him on Saturday. He comes from a wrestling family. That always helps, because they can understand it a little bit maybe and transition that. And it was just a really great win, and it really jump-started us. I mean, it was an overtime win. It was a grind. It was one of those matches. Just got everybody pumped up, and we really fed off of that.
I know there's sometimes those matches you talk about being ready to go and wrestling a full 6 minutes. Sometimes you need more than that, don't you?
Yeah. And, we were probably at that stage, you were for sure, how good a shape Bryce might be in, because he hasn't wrestled a lot of full matches here these last, because of his injury. But obviously, when you're a fairly pretty decent athlete, I think you can make up for it a little bit that way, Darren. You just can. So he did, and he gutted it out. I just couldn't be more proud of him.
Kristen Kane qualifying at 145. What's made it a successful year for him?
Hard worker. He is a grinder. He comes to practice every day, and you can just throw the wolves at him and he'll just keep going. He'll keep fighting, and he brings it every day. That's what he's made out of. The thing that he probably had to transition the most was just wrestling smarter, staying in better position, knowing when to probably hold back just a little bit, maybe just ride, not just get into a flurry and look for those falls all the time. But that's the way he wrestles. But you also got to know about how much time is left in the match when you do that kind of stuff. So he's really gotten better at that, and he really has matured as a sophomore and has listened really well in the practice room.
Gabe McHugh at 152. You look at MFL sports the last few years, pretty much a lot of any success in any sport has had a lot to do with what Gabe has been able to do on the mat and on the field. He just continues that here in the sport of wrestling, doesn't he?
Definitely. He's a warrior. He's a bit different that way. He brings his leadership every day to practice. Sometimes vocal, sometimes not vocal, just hard work. So he definitely can be an outspoken kid sometimes. You can take it however you want to take it, but in the end, it's all about the grind and getting the most out of everybody and himself throughout the entire practice. And that's just the way he is. And that's the way he goes about his business. He's sharpened other people's swords inside the room. And, the only thing that probably could be frustrating for Gabe is, we don't have guys in the room that are probably at his caliber, but, we got guys, that are feeding off of him. We got guys that are, working just as hard as him. He just seems to push him, and then he needs somebody to push him. So, so it's one of those things where it's a tough balance. But he finds opportunities. And here's the fact, if you want to be really good at something and you're in a small community, sometimes you got to go out and you just got to find it on your own, and you got to do some things on your own. And he's done that. So he's kind of balanced that, if that makes sense. He balances the guys in the room, and then he takes care of himself probably in other times, and also just nutrition too. And, taking care of his body. I think he's done a good job of that. But we got guys in the room that have fed off of him, and Gabe's done a nice job of help making those guys better, so.
Carter Decker qualifying at 160. You just got to feel happy for the kid being on the mat. I know he had an injury situation in football, missed a lot of the season there. Has dealt with it a little bit here in wrestling, but you know what? He's still going, and it's the last week of the season. And no matter what, the best place to end your season is Wells Fargo Arena.
Yeah, exactly. Super happy for him. He's a very athletic kid. I think he's doing what's right. He's taking care of his body and listening to it. And we all had to do the same. And through the ups and downs, whatever we had to go through, we made it work. And Carter's done a nice job of just being a good teammate and a good person. He's just a good kid. And he's a really good listener too. I got to give him credit. He's definitely game for stuff, and he's dangerous, and he's become even a better listener, and he's matured as well. And wasn't for sure actually what was going to happen. Nobody was, but nonetheless, I think that he's kind of coming into his own at the right time, and he's in pretty good shape. Again, he's a pretty good athlete, and he's put himself in a good position at the right time of the season. That's for sure.
And Castian Mathis qualifying at 170. What's the reason he's still wrestling?
Just guts. Seriously, you gotta love those kids in your room, right? Or any type of sport you coach. Just you got to have those kids that might not have all the talent in the world, but they just got guts. They're a grinder. They fight. They don't give up. I love those guys, and I'm very happy for Castian. He's earned it, and he's earned it the hard way because he started at the bottom, worked us all the way to the top. You gotta love those kids. Very happy for him.
And to me, it's often not coincidental, but you got 5 straight weight classes, and all of those guys have qualified for state. So often that iron sharpens iron mentality works in this sport. And is that the case in your room again this year?
I think you got them all mixed together right there in the middle. So They all can wrestle each other, Darren, which is kind of nice, right? Guys like Gabe, he might need to be pushed a little bit harder, but he finds ways to get that done. And he might just have to go a little bit harder. It's harder for guys, a couple of them, to keep up with him, but they do the best they can. But those guys in the middle, they're 38, they're 40, they all can wrestle each other. So, there's just one big sword from 38 to 70 right in there. It's kind of, kind of cool. But we had other guys there that, did a really good job throughout the season that just didn't quite get there, like Andrew Hines. I mean, I didn't know if he'd be wrestling this year. And, he had some knee issues and he had surgery and just gutted it out. I mean, super proud of him, for him to probably be where he's at. He probably did a really nice job with just that. And, Keith Anderson, just a freshman, and he's really probably one of my most improved wrestlers. And he had a move on a kid on Saturday and the ref stopped it, and it's a questionable call, and he might've pinned the kid. So he might've gotten third. You never know. But, and then, Jack Vorwald didn't go out last year. He's a senior. He hadn't won a tournament since he was in, I think, 4th or 5th grade, and he won sectionals. So what a great moment for him. Right. Mm-hmm. And then Holden Mathis is just like his brother, 2 boys that are just grinders that just work real hard. So, left those guys, but, those guys really had some neat things to that they accomplished throughout the season as well.
And what's going to take for you guys to have as successful of a weekend as possible come Thursday through Saturday in Des Moines?
Well, I think, we just got to stay healthy, obviously, get through each day here and get ourselves right. We've been doing a good job of that and just going down there, and some of our kids just got to let it fly. They can't be worried about where they're at. Easier said than done, right? I mean, once you get to a state tournament series and in any kid's mind, I mean, sometimes, that's the blockage there. So if you get past that, you can just kind of feel comfortable and just kind of go after it. And some of my kids don't have much to lose because they're coming there for the first time. And now when you see the tournament and you got kids there for the first time, obviously we all know what that means. You wrestle somebody pretty tough first round, right? Mm-hmm. So you really got to just wrestle with the mindset of, hey, I'm here, I've earned it, I'm gonna have fun, whatever happens, happens. So I think some of them, are thinking that way. And then we got other guys that are probably thinking, hey, I'm taking out each guy round by round and working my way to the top. So got a little bit of everything.
All right, Coach, congrats on getting 5 kids to Des Moines, and hopefully it's as successful of a weekend as possible come Thursday through Saturday. Look forward to chatting with you down there, and best of luck to the Bulldogs.
All right, Darren, thanks for your coverage.
Chet Bachman, head coach of the MFL Mac Bulldogs. 5 Bulldogs going to be wrestling at Wells Fargo beginning Thursday night.